Hey, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your desktop computer. And when you're hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And the best of all, it's totally free. Check me out. I'm here every Wednesday for Wind Down Wednesday at 9 p.m. right here on Anchor.fm. You could also catch me on Spotify. Welcome to TT from the D Wind Down Wednesday. I'm your host, TT from the D, and I want to thank you for logging on tonight. I'm super excited to talk about the hot topic for tonight. But before we get to tonight's hot topic, I want to say thank you. There are several other platforms and podcasts that you have logged on to tonight, but you took the time out of your busy schedule to listen to TT from the D Wind Down Wednesday, and I certainly hope that you're able to unwind, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, just as a reminder, this is a grown and sexy show, and we talk about mature things. Sometimes we talk about things that is relatable to children, and sometimes we talk about things that children have no idea. Shoot, sometimes adults don't know what we're talking about. But the joy of tonight's topic, it's for everyone. I think someone young can understand and relate just as well as I think someone seasoned could understand and relate. Now let's jump into it. I hope that you will take the time to actually take some notes. I think you might find a few of these things kind of interesting, to say the least. I won't hold you long. It is a beautiful Wednesday, and I'm happy to also tell you real quick that we are moving to 8 o'clock as of June 7th. Our first Wind Down Wednesday of June will be at 8 o'clock p.m. starting June 7th. Okay, now, ability versus availability. First of all, I'm super excited to talk about this because I talk about it quite often with family and friends, especially my circles. I belong to a couple of circle of friends, and we talk about how we just can't be available to people all the time. People should not be able to have access to you at the drop of a dime, when they feel like it, when it's convenient for them. If you're anything like me, you're always on the go. You're ripping and running for yourself, for your friends, for your family, for your children if you have any, or your child, for your significant other, your spouse, whomever. But people have to learn this thing called boundaries. They need to learn about it. But more than they have to learn about it, we have to, as human beings, implement boundaries. Because if you don't implement boundaries, people totally will ignore it as if it's no wall, no gate, no divider. They'll just invade your space, your time. And time is the one thing we can't get back. Now you can, let's just say you live in a place and it's a small place and you don't have a lot of space. You can always upgrade. But when you give your time up, you can't get that back. You can't buy time. I think we've lived long enough in this world to realize you can't buy time. Not in a way in which we would like to buy time. Now, implementing boundaries, doing those two things, the boundaries and making sure you give yourself some self-care and abilities to do that, it allows you to nurture your body, your soul, your spirit, and improve your outlook on life. You might say, how, TT? Well, I'm going to share a couple things with you. First of all, let me remind you that God is more interested in your availability for Him than He is about your ability. He loves you. He loves what you do for Him, how you do things. But He also loves the time you give to Him. And we have to be mindful of that. We really have to be mindful of that. And we run out of time quite often. There's only 24 hours in a day. We all know that. And with the 24 hours in a day, when we don't have boundaries up, people will chip away at your time. And before you know it, your whole day is gone. You could have somebody simply say, hey, you want to run with me, run an errand real quick? Or, yeah, okay, sure. Then have you ever been in that position where you run that one errand, then it turns to 2, 3, 4, 5. Before you know it, they ain't kidnapped you all day because they got things to do. And they figure, oh, you're going to run this errand. You said errand. You want to run this errand. You want to grab a bite to eat? Okay. Well, you have to set boundaries. Unless you don't have anything on your agenda and you're not battling for time, you really have to set an agenda. You really have to put some time down and say, you know what? We're going to do this for about 2 or 3 hours. I got 2 or 3 hours. And then move ahead. If you don't do that, it's hard to figure anything else out. And I know you might find like, oh, how, why, what? Yeah. Because time is not on our side. There's simply not enough time. But when you have abilities to do things, you have to learn to kind of have a cutoff point for your availability. I'm going to give you the scripture, Psalms 147, 10 through 11. Very simple, very short, very quick. Again, that's Psalm. For all my people that's going to correct me. Psalm, I always add that S in there. Psalm 147, 10 through 11. You may agree or disagree, but there is a big difference between ability and availability. And in that scripture, it says, his pleasure is not in the strength of the horse, nor his delight in the legs of a man. The Lord delights in those who fear him, who put their hope in his unfailing love. Now you might be wondering like, what? I want you to learn. I want you to get things. I want you to find the things that's going to help you be stronger. Let me ask you this, and this is rhetorical. Do you ever feel so skilled in what you do that you think you don't need help from anybody? Now, sometimes we have the ability to do something, but we don't have the availability that allows us to put our talents to work in certain opportunities and situations and circumstances. But have you ever really felt like I'm a GOAT in this field? And you might feel like there's no other GOAT like me. I know some people that are like, I'm dope at what I do. And I touch and agree with them. But there's always somebody just as dope as you. They may not be in your realm. They may not be even your circle. They may not be in your reach. But they could be just as dope as you. There's people that's doper than you. There's people not as dope as you. See, you're not in competition really with anybody but yourself. You always want to make yourself be better than you are. Each day, do something to empower, encourage, and just make yourself better. But getting back to the question at hand, do you ever feel so skilled in what you do or think you don't need no help from others? Do you think God needs your skills and abilities in order to accomplish his purpose on your life? Do you remember, better yet, do you know the story of Moses? And how God used Moses to carry out divine order? I think we sometimes take on the Moses spirit. What do you mean, TT? Well, let me explain. When God told Moses he wanted him to lead his people out of slavery, Moses reminded God, oh no, see, I got slow speech and I stutter. No one's going to really pay me attention. People ignore me now. I think you mixed me up with someone else. I think you need to get someone else. I know I've adapted and adopted that mindset several times, where it's almost like I was shocked that someone wanted me to do something because I didn't realize that I had the ability. They wanted me to find out if I had the availability. But I have to think, do I even have the ability? Just to find out later on after actions putting your actions to work, I was. Not only was I available, but I had the availability. Can you recall a time in your life where someone nominated you to do something or for something, and you looked internally and thought, oh, no, it can't be me. You must be talking about somebody else. But then in that same thought process, do you remember a time where you felt like, I wasn't nominated. No one calls upon me. I'm more than capable. I'm available, but they don't see me or they don't want me. You ever, as a child, played a game and people had to pick team members? Okay, I picked so-and-so. Okay, I got so-and-so. And you waiting to hear your name call. And they're not really fighting over you, but there's certain people like, I want so-and-so. I want so-and-so. And then you kind of just by default, okay, well, I got so-and-so. Where you felt like I wasn't chosen. That's a bad feeling. And in real life, it can really send someone into depression when they feel like they're always counted out. It's funny how the mind works when we don't really allow ourselves to see the beauty of who we are. We are beautiful people by design. I know you've heard this saying, God don't make no mistakes and God don't design no mess. Everything God created was beautiful, is beautiful. The taintedness, the ugliness is what we as human beings have mastered in tarnishing and turning things into ugliness and taintedness within ourselves. You could be beautiful on the outside and very ugly on the inside. You could be ugly on the outside and very beautiful on the inside. It's very rare that you'll have somebody beautiful on the inside, beautiful on the outside, ugly on the outside, ugly on the inside. It's a trait. It's a character trait, I guess. But we all have beauty within us. You know that old saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Well, that was a rhetorical question. Sometimes we have to learn to operate and look through our transparent lenses of life. One thing God does need is our time. See, God doesn't need our abilities. He just needs our availability. If we want to see our skill set naturally catapult itself, our natural talents and abilities multiply to the maximum, we need to make ourselves available to Him like we make ourselves available to mankind. Even when we know they're not worthy of our time. Even when we know we are on, what we say, operating on fumes. As my husband would say, your battery blinking. People will call upon you and call upon you and call upon you. Especially if you're that type of person that just gonna drop what you're doing to go, I'm gonna rescue, I'm gonna do. Sometimes you have to say, you know what, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'm in for the night, I'm tired, I've had a long day. It's okay. Because let me be clear. When people that know how to set boundaries do that, they're not stressed. They don't slide into depression. I don't think they deal with a certain type of mental illness or anything like that. They simply learn how to set boundaries. I have a really good sister friend. I believe it's 10 o'clock. I could be wrong. It could be 9 o'clock. She turns her phone off. She shuts her house down. She's been doing this for years. Her children are three children. 2 out of the 3 are grown. They still understand what it means when she says, I'm shutting it down. Okay? She's the mother to my oldest son. And I used to laugh at it, but I respect it as I got older. Because I'm like, I'm about to shut it down time as well. Sometimes you got to turn your phone. I've been noticing some people are putting their phones on notifications silenced. I got to figure out how to do that. Because people don't always need to, and they should not always have access to you. It is okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to turn your ringer off. It is okay to take your phone and say, hey, my spouse, my kids is all good. We're home. Everything's well. Hey, Today is my day. I'm not doing anything for anybody. I'm not going nowhere. I'm coming in. I'm not cooking dinner. It's a carry out night or take out night, or your spouse or significant other probably will cook, or maybe your child or children could cook. I don't know. But you got to learn to just say, today is for me, or this time frame. I work from this time to this time. At this time, this window right here. Oh no. We have to learn to do that. And we have to learn and understand that it's okay to set boundaries. Because there's that difference where ability and availability will collide. And when they collide and it's not on your watch and it's not to benefit you, you're going to end up stressed out. Like, you're feeling defeated. But the people or the person that is making you feel this way, they have, one, no idea you feel this way. Two, if they're selfish, they don't care. If you tell a person, you know what, I'm tired. Catch me next round, or I'm tired. Let me go ahead and, I'm gonna have to pass up today. Any other time I got you, but today, they should say with respect and no type of bite back, I understand. You get you some rest, because I know if you could, you would. But we, for some reason, sometimes stress ourselves out when we don't do it. We literally will make human sacrifices mentally and spiritually to folks who really could care less about our availability. They're only seeking their ability to get you to help them do what they need to do when they want it done, how they want it done. Despite how you feeling, knowing you might have just got off work, knowing you might have just got out of school, knowing you might be on your way to work soon, knowing you might have a house full of kids or caretaker or whatever that, knowing this about you, but they call upon you because they know you got the ability. But they may not realize you don't have the availability. And they may not realize that because you have not mastered setting boundaries. There's nothing wrong with helping your fellow neighbor, your family, your friends. It's nothing wrong when you can. But you got to help yourself first. If you are tired and burnt out and weary and stressed out, that affects your health and your mental well-being. Little do you know. Think about this. When was the last time you made yourself available to use your abilities for God? Or some would say, let your light shine, be the salt of the earth. I challenge you for this moment to appreciate every moment that you encounter. Appreciate deeming March as Mental Health Month. But every day is a challenge for some. Every day is a mission for others. And don't get in the pleasure of saying, I can only be concerned with mental health in the month of March. That's not true. You have to concern yourself with your mental well-being every single day that you rise. You have to learn to say, I'm available or I'm unavailable. I have the ability because God strengthens me. We have natural skills, natural talents. Try something new, especially if you are a person that seems to find yourself saying, yes, okay, no problem. Even when you want to say, no, not right now. Oh my God, I don't feel like it. I'm not available. Take time to ask God, is this something that I should be using my gifts, my talent, my time for? Or is this something that I simply should just say, you know what, I can't? And being bold enough just to say you don't want to. Would you eat something you hate? Would you do something you know that could cause hurt, harm, or damage to you? No. And I know some of you might be rolling your eyes, thinking of logging off, or saying, man, this really resonates with me. I believe God is looking for men, women, boys, and girls who are available, because He will and can make you able. You know the popular gospel song, He's Able, originally created and written by Darwin Hobbs. That chorus line, we sing it with so much fierce fire. God is able to do just what He said He would do. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. Don't give up on God, because He won't give up on you. He's able. Now, I didn't sing that because I'm not a singer. That ain't my calling. You got to know your gift, and that ain't it. On a serious note, I wanted you to hear those words. We sing it. We sing a lot of songs we love and we feel a passion. But those words, God is able to do what he said he would do. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. Hallelujah. God said it. Don't give up on God, because he won't give up on you. Now I'm going to leave you with these 7 components of mental health. 1, in-person therapy. Don't you let nobody tell you there's anything wrong with seeing a counselor or a therapist. It's very healthy. You don't always have to see a counselor or a therapist for things that's wrong or trauma or depression. You could just need to unpack. You might not have anybody you want to unpack with or you can unpack with. Because people are so busy packing and moving, they don't even really unpack everything in their own lives, so they're living out of boxes, metaphorically speaking. Most insurances and many jobs in today's time, especially us going through this pandemic, provide mental health for free. According, there's agencies that will provide services because sometimes people just need someone to talk to. They need to sort things out outside their mind, outside their head, and they don't really have anybody that they can lean on or share with. Number 2, community. Surround yourself with like-minded people. People that are like you. Go-getters. Motivating, inspirational. If you're not a go-getter, you're not inspirational, you need to put yourself around people that are, so that you can get imprinted upon, in a nice way of putting it. And those who wish to become healthier and happier and uplifted by conversations, deep conversations or surface conversations, in-person meeting, virtual meetings, a bite to eat, okay? A cup of coffee, let's meet up for coffee and conversation, whatever that looks like. Exchange your energy in a positive circle. Support one another. It is called community. Number 3, physical health. Yes, the body and the brain need to act as a team. And we all know the brain wants what the brain wants. The body wants what the body wants. We have to learn to let them work together. Because in the end, if they work together, then they're working in your good, for your good. We go when we know we shouldn't. Our body will say, I'm tired, I need to rest. But your mind is like, I got to do this, I got to do that, because we operate on this thing called a clock in time. Got to hurry before it gets daylight, or I got to hurry before it gets dark. I got to hurry up before this time. I got to hurry up. The only thing you don't hurry up do, the only thing I think we don't hurry up to do is rest. We don't hurry up to rest. We hurry up to do everything up. We hurry up and eat, barely digest our food. We hurry up and go here and go there because we try to put all this time in because we're racing against the clock when we're really racing against ourselves. When you're tired, rest. When your body's saying, listen, I don't feel well, I'm tired, don't let your mind overpower your body. Because let me be clear, when that body ends up in the hospital or at the doctor's office, that mind gonna be like, ooh, you don't feel well. See, you should have rested. And you gonna be looking like, what? You need the two to collide and work together. Number 4, intellectual health. Exercising your mind. Have a stimulating conversation. Reading a good book. Watching a good movie. Really just feeding your brain. Allowing yourself to process things that are positive. Listening to positive music. Listening to nature. All these aspects help health, intellectual health, mental health. This is what we need to do in today's time. Number 5, environmental health. You might say, what is that? Environmental health can impact your mental state of mind. Did you know that? It could leave you open to daily stressing or relaxation. Your living conditions in which you choose, or you've allowed somebody else to choose for you to live in, could also give you stress. And it can impact your life negatively. And it can then lead to mental illness. See, doing what you can and want to do brings joy and peace. Doing what you gotta do and don't really know if you want to do can lead you with a heavy load and burdens, and it end up stressing you out. Your relationships, your living conditions, your social situations, your choice of friends. Hell, some of your family members could drive you crazy. And it could affect your mind and your body, and definitely your spirit. We want to reduce the stress in our lives and increase relaxation in our lives. I don't know if you know, but stress can cause poor cognitive disorders in your mind. And number 6, boundaries. We talked about this earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Boundaries. Learn to say no. Learn to say not right now. Because when you say not right now, that means you want to do it, but not right now. If you say no, then you don't want to do it. That's just what it is. But learn to put those boundaries out there. It's okay. That's why we created them, boundaries. Saying no to the things that are not essential will allow you to take some time to safeguard your mental health. You could be able, but you can't always be available. You got to learn to put those boundaries up. 7, number 7, and last but not least, self-care. I love doing self-care. Doing those little things for yourself naturally, for your body, such as a hot shower, a little longer than normal, a bubble bath, a walk, sitting and doing nothing, sitting back and just kicking your feet up and just saying, I'm doing nothing. Self-care. Shopping. That's therapeutic for a lot of folks, right? Taking yourself to brunch, taking yourself to breakfast, taking yourself to lunch, taking yourself to dinner, taking yourself on a vacation. You got to make me time. Oh, it's imperative. You do for everybody else. I'm sure you do. Unless you're selfish. And it's okay to be selfish in some instances, in some ways in life. But you got to learn to take care of you. Because let me tell you this. This is not a secret. If you don't take care of yourself mentally and emotionally and spiritually when you're alive, it does no good to worry about taking care of yourself when you're no longer here. Life will continue to go on. Like the sun turns to the moon and the moon turns to the sun and vice versa, and daylight to nighttime and all that, rising and resting and all that. When you go through life and you see your life the way you see it, it's like, what do you wish to do? You have to look at life and say, today is a good day to do this. Today is a good day to do that. Whatever that looks like. For you. Through you. Make the best of whatever it is you have in life. Choose you. It's okay to choose you. It is okay to implement boundaries, and it's okay to implement self-care. Know the difference between ability and availability. Teach yourself, if you don't know, how to not always be available. Even if you have the ability, sometimes you need to not be available. And remember, God is not concerned about your abilities. On what can you do for him? He needs to know if you'll just take the time to do what he needs you to do. If you say, I'll follow the leader, just give me my orders, and you mean it, and you do it, I guarantee you, your life will change. Right now, I'm going through a 31-day fast and prayer where I rise up 5 o'clock a.m. every morning to pray. and I have certain things I got to pray for, petition, and things of that nature. This is a different type of fast for me. But with me saying that, I really look at life. I'm very sensitive in the spirit in this season of life. And I'm actually on the 23rd day. My 31-day fast and prayer has nothing to do with the Daniel fast or anything like that. It's every now and then God give me these missions. Now let me be clear. I've not always been available, but I've always been able. So I'm not talking to you about something that I just wanted to talk to you. I didn't pick this topic just to have something to talk to because I didn't have a topic to talk about. I'm a woman of many words. I have a lot that goes on in the world and people that are doing amazing things and great things that I want to share with this platform that's heard worldwide. But there was a time, the very first time, I believe, well, not the very first time, but the God had told me plenty of times to do things. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Right. But I remember the very first time God told me to get up and go live. And I'm like, what? For what? I'm tired. I just washed my hair, rolled my hair. I'm telling God this. I said, I just washed my hair, rolled my hair. I'm about to go to bed. I'm not. I could go live in the morning. And I was learning to go live and doing a lot of different things at that season of my life, right? And so God said, get up and go live. So I said, I could go live in the morning. So I laid down and I couldn't rest. I couldn't sleep. All I kept hearing him say was, get up and go live. I'm like, but about what? What am I talking about? Right? I was like, no, I'm not. I'm tired. I promise I'll get up early in the morning and I'll do whatever, but I need some rest because I got to work in the morning, right? I closed my eyes trying to got the fan on. I'm like, whew, I'm tired. And my body was like, So I got up with an attitude. I didn't do it with cheer in my heart. I got up with an attitude. And I'm like, I'm not about to take these rollers out of my hair. I just washed my hair and set it. I'm not about to do that. What I will do, I have a couple of hats I love, and I got a couple of big hats that kind of fit like a painter's hat or whatever. So I put on one of those. I was like, I'm not about to put on no makeup. I got on my pajamas, whatever. It's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Who's up on social media? Whatever. So I got up. I went downstairs, logged into my Facebook. I'm like, I remember I was with an attitude like, hey, I'm sure ain't nobody up. I'm not really sure why I'm here. I just had the spirit to tell me to get up and go live. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sure ain't nobody here, and I'm just here, and I'm just saying stuff. And then I start seeing people get on. And I'm like, oh. And then people that I don't know on. Right? And they are asking questions, because I think I was going through some type of challenge, some scripture challenge or something. I can't really remember that part, but it was in one of those seasons. And so I'm engaged in conversations and we're going back and forth. By the time I logged off, it was like almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I had got caught up with the conversation with strangers, and I was like, I'll catch you guys another time. I enjoyed the conversation. I hope that this was good for someone. I'm always here for that one, and blah, 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 right? I looked, when I logged off, I went back to look at it a little bit, and it had like 300 views. I was like, what? I'm looking crazy as heck. It's late in the midnight hour. I'm talking to strangers. I'm talking to people. And I couldn't understand. What is this about? Right? I couldn't understand it. So it was like, all right. So I was curious. I got to work, looked at my phone, 700 views since I went to sleep. Mind you, when I got up, I felt like I slept for hours. God gave me energy. Because I was like concerned, like, I got to get up at 5:30. I would be super sleepy, blah, 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 blah. I felt like I slept for hours, right? Then, by the time I got off work, that video had 1,000 views. I said, huh? He did it again. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna move on and let you guys go. So I was taking a photography class. A lot of you guys know I love taking photos. I was secretly taking a photography class. And I was on my way to class. I woke up a little later than I should have, but I wouldn't have been late for class. But I was like, okay. I was like, I'm going to make me coffee and make me some breakfast, and then I'm going to get ready to go. And as I'm getting ready to go in the kitchen, God says, get on your computer and go live. I was like, oh no, I'm not about to do that. I got to get ready for class. And no, I'm not going to I don't have time. I'll go live later. I'm not sure what you want me to go live for or whatever. I can't. I have to, go later. So I'll go in there. I'm making me something to eat. I walk back into my living room, and there he goes again saying, hey, I need you to go live. And I'm like, what? What? Right? One of those, what? And I'm like, okay. So I end up going live. And again, I approached it like, I don't know why I'm doing this, blah, 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 right? Talking, people logging on. We get into some stimulating conversation. And it's like, I realize like God wants me to be available to do what he wants me to do, and I really don't know why, and all this, and it's extra and everything. And it was just like, okay. I stayed on there so long, engaged in conversation with people I didn't know, that I missed my photography class that day. And normally I would have been mad, but I wasn't, because I believe that we go for that one. And I was convinced in my spirit that the conversation I was engaging in was meant to be. It wasn't for me. See, I learned a long time ago, your life is not your own. And it ain't always about you. Quite often it is, but not always. So as I leave you with this note, there's a reminder, set those boundaries. Learn the difference between you being available and you being able. Know that you're gifted with abilities beyond your own imagination. Some you haven't even tapped into. But they mean nothing if you're not available for the one who gives them to you. This is your girl, TT from the D. I hope that you've enjoyed this conversation about ability versus availability. I hope that you will tune in each and every Wednesday right here on Anchor.fm or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever platform you're listening to us on. Headliner, there's several of them. Going right to our website, TTFromTheD.com. I hope you'll also tap in for Tap In Tuesday, every single Tuesday on StreamYard. You can go through StreamYard.com/Facebook. You can also catch us over on YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we're moving to a new time as of June 7th. Both shows, TT from the D, Wind Down Wednesday will be 8 o'clock p.m. right here. And TT from the D Tap In Tuesday will be 8 o'clock as well. Remember, our platform is for everyone across the globe. We have a vast variety of people who listen. I bring people to encourage, empower, inspire, and motivate you. And I do the same. I tend to do the same when I come by myself, as I am tonight. And I can only hope that you will hear something that resonates with you each and every time you listen to one of my pre-recorded shows or tap in for a live stream. That's the goal, because I understand that this life is not about me. It's about us. I'll see you soon.